Okay, jap, siapa yang mula ni? Okay, hi everyone. So we are from group 4. We were discussing about waste in bread industry. So my group members is Nur Hasana Shukri, me Nur Shazwana, Nadia Hanim, and Muhammad Akin. Okay, so first we will talk about bread making process. So first step in bread making process is mixing and kneading. So first the raw materials is which to appropriate mass, and then all ingredients such as wet flour, yeast, salt, and water mixed together in mixer machine. A mixer in a closed drum rotates at speeds between 35 to 75 rev per minute, which this process takes about 12 minutes. We use mechanical arms, knead the dough to desired consistency in a matter of seconds. The possible waste is the splitting of raw materials during mixing and kneading, the flour or dough scraps that may stick onto the wall or of mixer machine, and then the leftover grain. Next, we go to proofing and fermentation step. So proofing is the rising of dough step which activates the yeast in dough. So some high-speed machinery is designed to manipulate the dough at extreme speed with great force, which forces the yeast cell to multiply rapidly. The process can be induced with the addition of chemical additives such as 1,16 and vitamin. So gas produced during fermentation process and chemical additive use can be the possible waste in this step. Next, baking. So baking is done in oven, which oven is set to a high temperature and high level of humidity, which is 225 degrees Celsius. So baking is done in 30 to 35 minutes. Next, slicing and packaging step. So the bread is sliced into pieces using vertical serrated plates that move up and down. The bread crust and crumb is removed depend on the final product manufactured. So during packaging, pre-printed plastic bags are mechanically slipped over each loaf. Packaging material, bread crust, and crumbs can be the possible waste from this step. Next, lastly, the cleaning step. Cleaning in place is done. The cleaning involves rinsing the equipment with water. So water from the cleaning process can be the possible wastewater. It can be solid from the bread waste, and then the liquid water. Okay, next I pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Shazwana. So let me proceed about waste from bread industry. So the bread industry generates a wide range of waste products, which can have significant environmental impacts if not properly managed. One type of waste generated by the bread industry is spent grain, which is the leftover grain that is left over after the brewing process. This grain can be used as livestock feed or as a soil amendment, helping to reduce the amount of waste that ends up in landfills. Another type of waste generated by the bread industry is bread crust and crumbs, which can be repurposed as breadcrumbs or as used as a feed ingredient for livestock. This helps to reduce the amount of food waste generated by the bread industry, as well as providing a source of nutrition for animals. Other than that, those scraps are another type of waste generated by the bread industry, which can be recycled back into the dough making process or used as a feed ingredient for livestock. This helps to reduce the amount of waste generated and can also provide a source of nutrition for animals. Next slide. Okay, so other than that, the bread industry also generates a significant amount of packaging materials, which can be recycled or repurposed depending on the type of material used. By properly managing these materials, the bread industry can help to reduce its environmental impact and promote sustainability. Finally, the bread industry uses a significant amount of water in the bread making process, which can be treated and reused, or it can be discharged into a wastewater treatment facility. Wastewater in bakeries is primarily produced during cleaning tasks, including cleaning the equipment and washing the floors. It can be described as having a high loading, variable flow, and also substantial oil and grease content. Next slide. So let's proceed to the effect of improper waste management in bread industry, as the bread industry generates a significant amount of waste, and this waste can have a range of environmental and economic impacts. Some specific example of these impacts include: first, landfill space. The bread industry generates a significant amount of food waste, which can contribute to the filling of landfill space. Landfill are a major source of methane emissions as food waste decomposes and produces this potent greenhouse gas. Second, air pollution. The transportation of waste to landfills and the disposal of waste in landfills can contribute to air pollution. Landfills are also a source of odors, which can be unpleasant for nearby residents. Number three, water pollution. When waste is disposed of in landfills, it can leach harmful chemicals into the soil and water. This can lead to water pollution and harm local ecosystem. Lastly, number four, economic costs. Disposing of waste in landfills can be expensive, as it requires the use of resources such as energy and transportation. These costs are often passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices for goods. That's all. Let me pass to Nadia Hani.
Thank you, Hasana. So I will discuss about waste treatment in bread industry. So since bread industry produce this major waste, which are solid waste and liquid waste. So we will discuss about these two types of waste. Next. So for the liquid or water waste in the bread industry, there are four stages of wastewater treatment, basically in the many industry, which are preliminary treatment, primary treatment, secondary or biological treatment, and for tertiary or advanced treatment. So for the bread industry, we only include three stages, which are preliminary treatment, primary treatment, and secondary treatment. So this is the sequence of water waste treatment in bread industry. First, bakery wastewater screening, FOG separation, flow equalization and neutralization, acidification, coagulation, dissolved air flotation, sedimentation, and lastly biological treatment or discharge. Next slide. So for the water waste treatment, include step one, which is screening to remove coarse solids such as flour, sugar, and yeast. Steps two, FOG separation to remove floatable fats, oil, and greases. Step three, flow equalization and chemical neutralization. Flow equalization is a process of adjusting flow velocity and flow composition, while chemical neutralization is used to balance the excess acidity or alkalinity in water, which is changing pH to meet the intended treatment. So next slide. So for step 4, acidification, acids such as concentration H2SO4 is introduced to the acidification tank, which allow for the hydrolysis of organics and improve the biodegradability. So for step 5, coagulation, which is flocculation, the stable fine suspended solid is destabilized by coagulation, and the stabilized SS is grow by flocculation, making the soluble solid heavier and large enough to settle down. It often functions as a preconditioning procedure for sedimentation. And the last one is sedimentation, which is functioning mechanism based on density differentials between between soluble solid and water. Sedimentation, also known as clarification, which is the process by which suspended particles are removed from the water by gravitating or separation, allowing soluble solid with larger particle size to settle down to bottom of the tanks. Next slide. So the last one is secondary treatment. The removal of dissolved and fine colloidal organic materials for sewage is necessary for secondary or biological treatment. So this is used microorganisms such as bacteria, algae, fungi, protozoa, rotifers, and nematodes. are used in this process to break down unstable organic matter into more stable inorganic forms. So this includes aerobic, anaerobic, or endpoint process, the three basic categories used in this biological treatment. So for bread industry, this not include tertiary treatment because the remove suspended and dissolved particle such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and pathogen organic is a key element of tertiary treatment since there is no nitrogen and phosphorus produced in this industry. So we will not use tertiary treatment. So next. So for the solid waste treatment in the bread industry, I found some interesting research that use leftover bread to create biotechnology product. So this is example of their transformations. The first one is this is a normal one or standard, which is a recycle from the old bread to the new one. So second is ethanol production. Their end product is ethanol. For application of the ethanol is fuel sources. And third, lactic acid production. Their end product is lactic acid and can use for biodegradable polylactic acid, well known as bioplastic material. The fourth is biohydrogen production. The end product is hydrogen and can use with energy sources. For five, hydroxy methylfurfural HMF synthesis can be used for renewable biomass. And the sixth, bioconversions of waste bread to glucose fructose syrup to use for fermentable sugars. And seven, bread waste for enzyme production. So enzyme can use as a catalyst of chemical reaction for various industry products such as detergents, textile, for food processing, animal feed, litter, paper, and chemical production. And the last one is for growth medium, for the culture of microorganism used to produce potential valuable products. So I will pass to Akil for the next presentation.
Okay, thank you, Nadia Hanim. So I will explain about the benefits of waste management in the bread industry. So the first benefit is to reduce gas emissions from landfill. When bread goes to the landfill and rots, it produces methane and greenhouse gases, which are hazardous to the environment. So by diverting bread from the landfill, this helps to reduce gas emissions. The second benefit is to reduce plastic pollution. Usually, bread comes wrapped in plastic that emits greenhouse gases and usually ends up in ocean. So less bread produced means less wrapping, thus reducing plastic pollution in the environment. Next slide. So the third benefit is to save labor costs. We can save costs on labor through more efficient handling, preparation, and storage of bread that will be used. Lastly, the final benefit is to conserve energy and resources. When the disposal of waste decrease, the demand of landfill space also decrease. Therefore, this can contribute to the better management of energy and resources, such as transportation. In addition, the better management of energy and resources can help to prevent pollution involved in the production, transportation, and selling of bread. Next slide. So next, I will explain about the applications of waste management in bread industry. One example of a bread company that is actively working to manage its waste is Panera Bread. Fast casual systems. The company was founded in 1981 and is headquartered in Missouri. Panera has more than 2,700 locations in the United States and Canada, and is known for using fresh, high quality ingredients in their menu items. So Panera Bread has implemented several initiative steps to reduce waste, including the first one is donating excess food to local food bank and charities. The second one is composting food waste and using the compost in company gardens. The third one is recycling and properly disposing of all materials, including cardboard, paper, plastic, and metal. And the fourth one is using energy efficient equipment and lighting to reduce energy consumption. The fifth initiative is Panera Bread implement a pay it forward program which allows customer to purchase a meal for someone in need. And the last initiative is Panera Bread partner with local farmers to source ingredient and reduce transportation related emissions. So overall, Panera Waste Management Initiative are aimed at reducing its environmental impact and promoting sustainability to the crowd. So move on to the next presenter.
Okay, basically this is the list of reference we use to discussing about waste in the bread industry. So that's all from us. Thank you.